Welcome back to Orangeline. We have 3 Freshmen of the Week this week. Let's check out our first one.
My name is Jamie Dujenski. I am from Dallas, Texas. I am involved with the Tri-Delta House, and I'm going to see if I can get involved in track next season. I was going to do it this season, but I think it's not going to work because I actually hurt myself during one of the practices, so it's just not going to work, so I'm going to have to try it next season. But it's pretty much what I'm involved in right now, and the reason why I chose Baker, it's a small community, which is what I love. You get your one-on-one with your teachers as much as you need to. You have everything you need. You got your tutors, and you have everyone's help in the library, you have all your teachers' help, and it just makes life a lot easier to have it such a small community.
Up next, I had the chance to catch up with a few students on campus to talk about some of the buildings being haunted. Senior Jared Weseloh has had supernatural experiences in Pulliam Hall that led him to believe it is haunted. About 2 years ago, Jared and a fellow student were in the KNBU-FM studio hosting their show when Weslow's co-host went into the hall and noticed something strange and asked him to come look.
The men's bathroom door is opening and closing completely by itself, and I went, no, it's not. I was like, you got to be making this up, because the show was kind of around Halloween time. I don't know if it was exactly on that day, but it was pretty close. So I went over there, and I went actually to the door, and sure enough, like I just stood there and I stared at it. I mean, the door just was opening and closing by itself, not just like a little bit, but like all the way too. The men's bathroom door just opening all the way, and there was no wind currents or anything like that because the room and everything was completely sealed. So I just thought that was kind of interesting, the fact that it's only ever happened like around Halloween, and yeah, and I've heard of actually other people talking about the same thing, so it's just kind of interesting. That night was kind of scary.
I sat down with Dr. Peard, a professor who experienced a paranormal incident last fall with a few of his students from his contemporary philosophy class.
We were doing a little field trip over to the Old Castle Museum. Rumor had it that there were 2 ghosts in the museum. As I recall, the story was that one ghost was a nice ghost and the other ghost was not. The nice ghost was a Baker professor who apparently had a heart attack and died. One of the ghosts died on the first floor. Again, according to legend that I heard, one of the ghosts died on the first floor. Another ghost died on the second floor. So we went into Old Castle, and unfortunately the alarm system wasn't working properly, and the alarm kept going off. So we didn't stay inside very long because of this problem. So we left, and as we were walking along one side of Old Castle, we had turned off all the lights, and we confirmed that. We looked up and there were no lights on. My son, who was I think 10 years old at the time, took my cell phone and just took a picture of one of the windows up on the second floor. And I think he took more than one. And we didn't think a whole lot about it, but after he'd taken it, we looked, and there was a light emanating from a completely dark window on the second floor. And it was a very bright light, and we didn't use a flash to take the picture, but nevertheless we could see this light. So who knows? I don't know whether that was one of the ghosts or not. One faculty member, whom I won't name, claims to have seen, he was leaving Old Castle as well late one night. He claims to have seen a face. It was, again, pitch black, everything locked up. He claims to have seen a face in one of the windows.
Built in 1858 and being Baker's first building on campus, it can't help but hold secrets of the supernatural behind its walls. From faces and windows to moving objects, Old Castle is full of stories.
We went into Old Castle one night from about midnight until about 4-ish, if I remember right. And what's funny is that she told us beforehand that the ghost likes to mess with the alarm system. So we go in there, we turned it off, like Trevor Racine is one of the guys who went there. He turned it off, and I mean, we were for sure it was off. But we decided to go upstairs to the second floor, and we did. And I opened up the door just just randomly, and I decided to start taking pictures. So I just started snapping photos inside the room without us actually going in. And I probably took like 10 or 12 photos just in a row. And all of a sudden Trevor goes, "Jared, dude, that's enough. You're gonna tick the ghost off." And I kid you not, right at that second, the alarm to the building just automatically goes off like that. And without missing a beat, Trevor goes, "Gosh darn it, Jared." He walks down the stairs, and he goes and he shuts the alarm off, because if you let it go too long, the police get informed. But then when he was shutting the alarm off, I looked, there was 2 pictures right beside the alarm. And I don't have any proof of this. I wish I had taken a photo before, but I didn't. But one of the pictures was straight, and the picture right beside the alarm then was completely at a 45-degree angle. And I'm pretty sure I would have noticed a picture at a 45-degree angle the first time that we, shut that alarm off. But I'm pretty sure that it was at a 45-degree angle afterwards and not before. So that was actually one of the only few things that happened that night, but it was really interesting for the fact that it did.
Other students have said to have heard strange noises in Rice Auditorium late one evening, as well as other buildings on campus. According to Dr. Peard, while it may be fun to think about these things, there is some very interesting work to be done on the paranormal and supernatural, and these raise all sorts of philosophical and intellectual questions. I'm Jessica Mulvaney, KNBU-TV.
Thanks for that, Jessica. Up next, Matt Quandt has this week's Staff Spotlight.
This week, we had a chance to catch up with a prominent figure in the business department.
I'm Martha Harris. I've been in the Business and Economics Department at Baker for 26 years. I started out as a part-time instructor, and I've stayed here so long I made it all the way to be a full professor, I guess. So I've been here for a long time. I've loved Baker ever since I came as an undergraduate. I graduated in 1979, and I like the atmosphere here. I thought that someday I would like to teach college students, because I thought that my college professors had had a big impact on me. I ended up coming back just a few years later and have been here ever since. So I guess I'm kind of a fixture on campus now.
While a fixture on campus and in the classroom, Martha Harris also has other responsibilities.
For the last 5 or 6 years, I've been the Harlexton coordinator. One of my very favorite things is the Harlexton program. I've had the opportunity to go twice and teach there for the semester and take my family, and it was a life-changing experience for them. And I love to help provide that experience to our students that can go and experience life in another culture, and all that does to enhance their life. Many of the students have become travelers, certainly, and have a desire to travel a lot, but they come back with a different worldview and know more about themselves as people and as Americans, just because of that experience that they have abroad.
When assisting students, she often receives questions about her eclectic office.
Yeah, I do have a lot of students that come in to check out my collection of stuff that I have in my office. I have lots of toys that my kids have given me over the years. When they were little and they'd come here on a school day off or something, they had to have something to play with. But now they just keep bringing me more and more things so I have a variety of those. Coach Weaver brings basketball recruits up to see my basketball shoes. He thinks those are pretty fun. And I do have signed shoes from Hakeem Olajuwon and Larry Bird and Charles Barkley and Danny Manning. So I think those are some of my proudest possessions that I have on display in my office.
This has been Matt Quandt for KNBU-TV.
Thanks for that, Matt. Stay tuned for more Orangeline. Freshman of the Week is next.